The warm up for 11.2 first, and then we'll talk about the homework from 11.2, and then we'll talk about 11.3, which is the last section that's going to get covered on that last test, which is a week from today. So 11.2 is where we talked about surface area of prisms and cylinders. So I'm going to write those formulas right here at the top. The prism, we did lateral area, which is perimeter times height. And then we did surface area or total area, because those are the same things, which is 2b plus perimeter times height, or 2b plus p plus the lateral area if you already found it. So that's the prism. And then we did cylinders, which are basically prisms with circular bases. And the lateral area for a prism is 2 pi rh. And the total area or the surface area for a cylinder. For a cylinder is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh, or 2 pi r squared plus the lateral area if you already found it. We use the calculator on these to make our lives a little bit easier, so keep doing that when you're practicing so that you are using the same calculator for your test as you will these assignments so you can practice them. The first one says, what's the surface area of the shoebox with the dimensions shown, and it says use a net. So a net just means if I opened this up and laid it out flat and found the area of each of the individual parts, I could add them all together to get the area. We're going to use, so you can ignore the use the net, because we're just going to use the formula, which is 2b plus ph. So the rectangular prism, which is what this is, we say the bottom and the top are the bases. And those are rectangles, which means B is going to be length times width, or 12 times 5, base times height, same thing, which is 12 times 5, which is 60. So that's B for base. Then perimeter of the rectangle is 12 plus 5 plus 12 plus 5, or 17 plus 17, which is 34. Then to find the total area or the surface area, because those are the same thing, and this time it says the word surface area, we do 2 times the base area plus the perimeter times the height, which is the only part of the prism that we haven't used that for, the perpendicular segment that connects the bases. So I get 120 plus 136, which is 256. This is inches, and it's area, so it's inches squared. Questions on that one? Okay, next one says to find the surface area of a cube. Well, a cube is still a rectangular prism, so my surface area is 2b plus perimeter times height. The difference is that the base we're still going to use as the bottom, but all of the sides are the same on a cube. So when I find the base area, it's 8 times 8, which is 64. When I find the perimeter, it's 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, or 8 times 4, which is 32. So then the surface area equals 2 times b, which is 64, plus the perimeter, which is 32, times the height, which is also 8. Two times 64 is 128. 8 times 32 is 256. 128 plus 256 is 384. This time it's millimeters, and again it's area, so it's squared. This is a 5, it looks like an 8. Questions on that one? All right, now we get into cylinders. So this one says a cylinder has the height of 24 inches and a radius of 8 inches. Find the surface area of the, that should be cylinder, not prism. Okay, so if you want to draw it to give yourself the visual, you can, but you certainly don't need it. It gives me the height is 24, so the vertical height would be 24, and the radius is 8. To find the surface area, it is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So 2 times pi times the radius, which is 8 squared, plus 2 times pi times the radius, which is 8, times the height, which is 24. Oh, I froze. Hang on, sorry. Alright, so we're here. So what you want to do is bump the pi to the end of each of those little terms. So I'm going to do 2 times 64, which is what 8 squared is, times pi, plus 2 times 8 times 24 times pi at the end. Then multiply out the numbers for each one. So 2 times 24 is 128 pi. 2 times 8 times 24 is 16 times 24, which is 384. And they both have pi. Since they both have pi, I can add these two numbers together. So I can do 184 plus 128, and it's 512, but you got to keep the pi at the end. The unit here is inches squared. Questions on that one? Okay, here are the solutions from last night's homework, or from Monday night's homework. So for 7, 8, and 9, it wanted you to find the surface area of the prisms. 7 and 8 are your rectangular prism. 9 is your right triangular prism. So for 7, we treated the bases as the top and the bottom. The base area would have been 123.5. The perimeter would have been 51, and the surface area would have been 1,726 centimeters squared. Number 8's a cube, so this is just like number 2 on the warm-up. The surface area of the base, or the base area is 36, the perimeter is 24, the surface area is 216. Number 9, the base is now a triangle, so this is where it gets a little trickier. That triangle would have to be 1/2 base times height, where 4 and 4 are the base and the height. So the base area is 8. But you had to do the Pythagorean theorem to find the hypotenuse of that triangle to do the perimeter. Add up all those sides and you should have gotten that the perimeter is 13.7. And then the surface area is 2 times 8 plus 13.7 times 8, which is 125.6. Okay, 11, 12 were also areas of a prism. So 11, the base, top and bottom, 10 times 5 gives me the base area is 50. The perimeter is 30. And then the the surface area is 220 feet squared. Number 12 is again a triangular prism. The base, 1/2 base times height gives you 6. You had to use your Pythagorean, and this time it's a triple. 3, 4, 5 was a triple, so I didn't have to use the theorem, but you could have to find the missing side. It would have been 3. 3 plus 4 plus 5 gives you a perimeter of 12. Surface area is 108 inches squared. Then came the cylinders. So surface area of the cylinders, number 17 is 40 pi. Number 18 is 16.5 pi. And number 19, 101.5. That should be 101.5 pi. Questions on any of the homework? If you're good to go, you can open up the 11.3 notes. So we're going to do surface area of two more solids today, prism and pyramid. Pyramid and cone. So you're going to learn some more formulas. Again, I would create a formula sheet. We can do that together in class on Monday. A reference sheet for each different kind. And then I would definitely have that handy to use for your test on Wednesday. All right, so 11.3 is surface area of pyramids and cones. A pyramid is different from a prism because it has just one base, and a cone is different from a cylinder for the exact same reason. Only one base, so one circle. So a pyramid is a polyhedron with one base. The other faces are called lateral faces, just like with prisms. The triangles that are those faces meet at a common point called the vertex. And the altitude, which is also known as height, is the perpendicular segment that connects the vertex to the base. So pyramids are a little trickier than prisms in that you've got the side here, which is the base edge. You've got two different kinds of height. Regular height that runs straight from the vertex to the middle of the base. And then you also have something new called slant height. Slant height runs along the middle of the side of your pyramid, and it is slanted. Okay, that's the name slant height. So that's a square pyramid. In like something like a hexagonal pyramid, here's your base edge, here's your altitude or height, and then along the side here would be your slant height. So pyramids can get really tricky. We are going to focus just on the square pyramid to make it easier, but you can have, like in the world of pyramids, there's a hexagonal prism, a pentagonal pyramid, a triangular pyramid. All of those things can happen. We are just going to focus on the square pyramids. So you will be given either the base edge, the height, or the slant height. You'll get given two of those three, and then sometimes you're going to have to find the other. Anybody still copying that down? Okay, so the formulas for the pyramids are these. The lateral area, which is going to be the area of all the triangles. So all these vertical triangles or slanted triangles, that is your lateral area. And that's 1/2 perimeter of the base times the slant height. So we're going to have to find the perimeter of the base and multiply it times the slant height, which is again running along the side, and then divide by 2 or multiply times 0.5. That's the lateral area. The surface area, which is the total area, it's going to be all that lateral area plus the base area. Notice there's only one B because in a prism there's 2 B's, but in a pyramid there's only one. So you can also write this as 1/2 perimeter times slant height plus the base area. So if it asks you to find the lateral area, then you can use that first one because you already found it, plus B. If you didn't find the lateral area first, then I would use that second formula. And I'll tell you right now, test-wise, it's going to go straight to total area. You're not going to have to find the lateral area and then the total area. So you'll use that second equation more than the first. But on the homework, some of them ask for them to be different. Like they just ask for lateral area, they just ask for surface area. All right, so here's the first example. It says, use the diagram to find, and LA stands for lateral area, and TA for total area. Remember, total area and surface area, same things. So the lateral area is the lateral area is 1/2 perimeter times the slant height. So the perimeter is the perimeter of the base. This is a square pyramid. So the base, 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, or 5 times 4, tells me my perimeter is 20. This time they gave me the slant height is 6. So that's the slant height. Which means the lateral area is going to be 1/2 20 times 6. And you can type that into your calculator as 0.5 times 20 times 6. You can do half of 20, which is 10 times 6. You could do half of 6 is 3 times 20. It doesn't matter how you do it. 20 times 6, 120. It's still dividing by 2. You would still get the exact same answer, which is 60. That's your lateral area, meters squared. So then the total area is B plus the lateral area, or B plus 1/2 PL. We already know the lateral area, so I'm just going to use that one, but I have to find B, which is the base area. The base is a square, so my area is just 5 times 5, which is 25. So I get 25 plus 60, or 85 meters squared. If you had gone straight to the surface area, then it would have been 25 plus 1/2 20 times 6, which is still 25 plus 60, or 85. So it doesn't matter which formula you use, you should get the same answer. So lateral area was 60, total area or surface area 85. Okay, example 2. Again, same type of shape. It's still a square pyramid. This time, though, they're giving you a little different information. I still need lateral area, which is still 1/2 perimeter times the slant height. But this time, they give me the side length, so they're still giving me the edges of the base, which is good. That's going to help me with the perimeter. But this time, they gave me the regular height, which is 24. This is where it gets a bit trickier because there's a right triangle that's formed here that I have to find the hypotenuse of, because that's my slant height. So I have one side is 24, the other is half the side length. So if the side length is 16, that means this is 8. And then I have a right triangle with the side length 8, 24, and I need to know the hypotenuse, which is the c squared. So I'd get 64 plus 576 equals c squared. (64 plus 576 is 640. Square root 640. And I get 25.29, so I'm going to say that's 25.3. That's your slant height. So it's a little bit trickier when they give you the height instead of the slant height, because you have to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the slant height. Now I know 1/2, my perimeter is 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16. Or 16 times 4, which is 64. Times my slant height, which is 25.3. And then I'm going to let the calculator do that work. 0.5 times 64 times 25.3. Which is 809.6. I actually think your homework says to round that to the nearest whole number, which would be 810. There's no unit on it, so it'd just be unit squared. Now the rest is just like it was before. The total area is B plus the lateral area. The B is 16 times 16, which is 256, plus the lateral area, which was 810. And I get 1,066 units squared. So if they gave you the slant height you have and the side edge, you have everything you need. But if they give you the height, you have to use the Pythagorean theorem with half the edge and the height to find the slant height. Okay, second shape is a cone. So a cone is a pyramid, both a circle base. So this is a solid with one circular base instead of two. Two is a cylinder, one is a cone. The altitude, or the height, is the perpendicular segment from the vertex to the center of the base. So this still has height, and just like a pyramid, it has slant height. And then the third measurement that you'll be given is either the radius, or you'll get given the height, the diameter, and you got to cut it in half. Just like with the pyramid, if you're given the radius and the slant height, you're good to go as far as the area goes. But if you are given the slant height, or sorry, if you're given the height instead of the slant height, then you have to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the slant height. So r squared, because that's the radius, plus the height squared equals the slant height squared, just like with the pyramid, because that's a right triangle. So if I made a triangle out of those three measurements, the slant height would be the hypotenuse of that right triangle. Here's the formulas for the cone. So the lateral area for a cone, think half the perimeter, right, would be half of 2 pi r, which gives you pi r times the slant height. That's an L. I know it's a little hard to see, but that's an L. So that's the lateral area, pi r L. So don't worry about this one. This gets simplified into the second one. And then the surface area is the lateral area plus the base, which in cone form would be pi r L plus pi r squared. So here's the better formula. If you are using lateral area already, then it's lateral area plus pi r squared. So these are the two, I would say not this one, these are the two that you want to use for cone. If you already have the lateral area, then it's lateral area plus the base, which is pi r squared. If you don't have the lateral area, you're going straight to the surface area, then it's pi r L plus pi r squared. So you've got a total of 8 formulas right now just from these last 2 sections, because you have lateral area and total area for each of those 4 solids. If you bring in the stuff from 10.7 and 10 or 10.6 and 10.7, then you've got 4 more, because you've got circumference, area, and then arc length and area of a sector. So you definitely want a reference sheet. Again, we will work on that again on Monday, but if you want to keep creating one for yourself so you remember that stuff, you definitely want to start compiling all of these into a more condensed note so you're not digging through all of your notes for your test. It just eats up way too much time. All right, so use the figure to find lateral area and total area. So lateral area is pi r L Here's my R, 15, 25 is the slant height. So I already have everything I need. Pi times 15 times 25. We're going to keep this in terms of pi. So we're going to bump the pi to the end and multiply the 15 and the 25. And I get 375 pi. The total area is the lateral area plus the pi r squared, or pi rl plus pi r squared, same thing. The lateral area is 375 pi plus pi times 15 squared. 375 pi plus 15 squared is 225 pi. Add the 375 and the 225 and you get 600 pi. And the unit here is centimeters, so these are both centimeters squared. Questions on that one? Okay, this last one is like the last one with the pyramid. Instead of it giving you the slant height, it's giving you the actual height. Instead of it giving you the diameter, instead of giving you the radius, it's actually giving you the diameter. So in order to find lateral area, which is pi r l, I need to know slant height and the radius. I'm given the diameter. This is the diameter, which means the radius is half that, which is 2. And I need to know the slant height. But what they give me is the actual height is 5. So I have to do 2 squared plus 5 squared equals the slant height squared. And I get that slant height is equal to the square root of 29. I'm going to plug that in the calculator, round it to the nearest tenth. So square root of 29 is 5.4. Now I have all the pieces of information I need to plug it into the equation. For lateral area, it's pi, the radius is 2, the slant height is 5.4, and I get 10.8 pi feet squared. For total area, it's lateral area plus pi r squared, or pi rl plus pi r squared. Pi rl we know is 10.8 pi. Then pi r is 2 squared. So 10.8 pi plus 4 pi, which is 14.8 pi feet squared. Question? Again, that's the last of what's going to get covered for your test. So your test, which we will start to review for on Friday, is going to cover 10.6, 10.7, 11.2, 11.3. 10.6 was arc length and circumference. 10.7 was area of a circle and area of a sector, which is what your quiz was on. 11.2 is prisms and cones. No, sorry, prisms and cylinders. And 11.3 is pyramids and cones. So on starting with Friday, we'll do a warm up on this, and then I'll let you know like what you can start on for your review. Make sure you've gone back in and looked at the feedback on your quiz. So for each of you, I opened up your quiz notability and I graded it and I circled whatever was wrong with it and I put it back on as a comment. So if you go in, not only should you see your grade, but you should also see your corrected answer sheets. And then, like, I tried to find, if there was a mistake, I tried to find what you did and circled it. This would be a great reference for your test. Okay, there won't be as many questions. Obviously, we're going to probably cut it in half. But keep in mind that you're going to definitely have one where you have to find the circumference, one where you have to find the area, one where you have to find the arc length, and one where you have to find the arc, the area of the sector. So those 4 types of problems, you're going to get one of each of those. Please, please, please make sure that if you made a mistake on those, you go back and you look at it so that you learn from your mistake. Questions? Anybody still copying down the homework? I mean the notes. Oh, this is what your homework looks like, so go ahead and get that opened. Go to Canvas, grab that homework and open it up. So there's 8 problems here. Oh, I froze. Hang on. Okay, there's 8 problems here. Notice that the first one says surface area. The second one says lateral area. So this, your surface area, you're going straight to, these are perimeters. So it would be B plus 1/2 PL. And this is lateral area, so this is just 1/2 PL. Those are for the pyramids. Then you get into the cylinders. I'm sorry, the cones at the bottom. And it's reversed. This says lateral area, this says surface area. So this one, wait, did I do that wrong? I did. Okay. This one would be pi r L, and this one would be pi r squared plus pi r L. So just be really, really careful. Make sure you read the directions. Notice it says to keep these in terms of pi, and it says to round these to the nearest whole number. So on Friday, we'll do a warm-up going over those 2 different solids. And then the homework, I'll go over the answers to the homework. And then I will post your review so you can start that, but we will work on that some more on Monday. We're so close to the finish line, folks. I know you're over it. I am too, if it makes you feel any better. But really, if you can power through next week, which is your test, and then the next week we literally see each other for 2.5 classes. And I'm just going to review volume on those classes because those are things that you'll definitely see on standardized tests. So we'll just kind of we'll kind of just like work together with some practice problems of volume. There's no assessment on them. There's no like quiz or test that last week. It's all just to review because you're definitely going to see volumes on SATs and ACTs. Any questions before I let you head out? Jordan, hang back so that I can talk to you about your quiz. Sabrina Sinke, you can head out. Ethan, you can head out. Marcella, you can head out. Allison, you can head out. Carla, you can head out. Juliana, you can head out. Have a great day, guys. Caesar, you can head out. Alex, you can head out. Kylie, you can head out. Izzy, you can head out. Gabby, you can head out. Michael, you can head out. Lester, you can head out. Antonio, have a good day. Julian, have a good day. Sebastian, have a good day. Alejandro, have a good day. Sabrina Lowy, have a good day. Skylar, go back to taking your nap. Griffin, have a good day. David, have a good day. Roque, have a good day. Alyssa, I'm trying to figure out what I'm staring at. What is that? Are you inside like a jungle gym? Wait, hang on. Wait, I can't hear you. It's so low. Hang on. My volume is so wonky. Go on. Okay, where are you? In a car. Okay, I'm like, what is that, the sunroof? Okay, you're good. Have a good day. Allison, have a good day. Lisa, Nick, if you're still there. Jordan, if you're there, will you turn your camera on? All right, folks. I'm out.